Alright, what's going on? I'm back with another replay cast. Playing as Kislev again. And in this match, we're on Battle for Itza and facing up against a Slaanesh player. So as I was going into this, what I was thinking was that they might be bringing Chaos Warriors, so I probably would want some armor-piercing damage. And I needed something that was going to be able to deal with large targets. So you can see I brought a bunch of these armored Kossars. With great weapons, I figured they'd be able to get some shots off and then deal with the with the Chaos Infantry in melee combat. Streltsy to deal with large targets, and War Bears to deal with cavalry. I was expecting to be dealing with what is that unit? I think it's called Hellstriders of Slaanesh, and that is a unit that I've struggled with dealing with when I play against Slaanesh players. Then I brought Kostaltyn, and I forget, do I have him mounted? He's on foot, right? I had him on foot. And I'm pretty sure the reason I brought him on foot was because I was worried about the Hellstriders and some of these units picking him off with their anti-large. Now, my opponent has got a group of Chaos Furies of Slaanesh, 2 Marauder Horsemen of Slaanesh, the Sibilant Slaughtercade. Okay, so these are Chaos Chariots, no ranged attack. I was kind of thinking of the Dark Elf chariots that have the ranged attack. Azazel. So this is a hero that I'm not too familiar with. Let's see, Chaos Warriors of Slaanesh, 2 squads of them, Forsaken of Slaanesh, and 2 Devoted Marauders of Slaanesh. Hell Scourges. I'm not sure. Maybe there's different variants, and the Hell Scourges is one variant of those. So again, I was looking for armor-piercing damage. I figured that I was probably going to have better ranged presence here, and I believe I brought a cannon at some point, so I wanted to get this hill. Now this is a match that I recorded, I want to say, almost a week ago. So, getting up here, I figured I want to get some shots off on the Marauders. They're not well armored. You can see only 15 armor, no shields. So I want to get some shots off on them. And for this match, as opposed to going in between 2 spots and trying to grab one of them, I figured I'd start off favoring point 1, try to take the high ground, and then fight from there. You can see my opponent's brought Azazel in, kind of flying back and forth, zigzagging, trying to dodge some shots. My Kossars with great weapons are getting charged by these chariots, and so I figured I'd have all my Streltsy aim at them, start shooting them down. Big target, you know what I mean? They just dealt a pretty good amount of damage. Took about like 15%, 20% of the health off of my armored Kossars. Continuing to get some cycle charges going through my Streltsy, so it's unfortunate having my gun lines tied up like that. Azazel charged in, and here I figured he was trying to take out my my Lord Kostaltyn, and so I was like, oh shit, this is not good, because I know the Chaos Lords are often pretty big beasts in melee combat, and he also had these anti-infantry regiments of renown. You can see Kostaltyn's already down to 50 health. Got armored Kossars fighting with these Chaos Warriors over on the point. Fury's coming down, jumping on top of my Streltsy, so that's not great. But luckily I've got my War Bear Riders around here and got them on top of Azazel. So I need to deal with Azazel, need to deal with these chariots. They're just kind of wreaking havoc in my back, and the Furies are not helping either. Luckily, getting my War Bear Riders and a couple shots off from my other Kossars over here was able to start punishing Azazel, get his health down. And although he got some good casts off and did pretty significant damage, I was able to get him out of there and off of Kostaltyn. So Kostaltyn's still about a third health, maybe a little bit less. They got more chariots coming in. Luckily, I brought in a Snow Leopard to deal with that, because I saw that. I brought in 2 just to get that anti-large presence and make them less comfortable dealing with my infantry. My armored Kossars are doing all right. You know, there's a lot of troops up here. Again, 2 squads of Marauder Horsemen providing some ranged cover. The Chaos Warriors have my Kossars tied up, but I got another squad back here getting some shots off. Still Streltsy getting charged through by these chariots. They got Devoted Marauders of Slaanesh on top of my Streltsy as well, so I've got Kostaltyn coming in there, trying to deal with those infantry. They don't have too much armor. They're more, I guess they're more of like kind of holding troops that are lightly armored. Good charge off with my War Bear Riders. Gotta deselect them to get that that pink glow off of them. Chariot's still charging around, giving me trouble. Really what I'm having trouble with is getting my Streltsy free and getting shots off on these guys. That's going to be my best way to deal with them. I almost wonder if it would be beneficial for me to have some kind of Costers with spears here. But luckily I got my Snow Leopards on top of these Hellstriders. They dealt good damage to the Chariots before they were able to get out of the engagement. And I brought in some Horse Archers to just get some shots off and ride around, cause some disruption. Warbear Riders are doing work right now. I'm getting them on top of Chariots. They helped chase Azazel off. Got a big charge off and did some damage to those Devoted Marauders. So then with Kostaltyn was able to get my Streltsy free. And now these Chaos Chariots are gonna get swamped by my Warbear Riders as they're disrupting my Armored Cossars. A lot of cavalry and mobile presence from my opponent. And at this point, this was a problem. When he brought in this unit, this was causing me problems. So the Marquis of Masochism, it is a Keeper of Secrets, and this is not a unit that I've ever seen before, but its Regiment of Renown is big and it does a hell of a lot of damage. So at this point, I was basically just trying to win this infantry fight, get towards point 1, and then start dealing with some of these big threats. And my Warbear Riders are really playing a huge role right now because my infantry seem to keep getting caught out. I'm not able to get too many good shots off with them. And the only thing that's causing most of the disruption is their cavalry presence. So you see here I brought in another squad of Warbear Riders. This Snow Leopard I kind of lost track of, got chased off by this Keeper of Secrets. And I want to get these Warbear Riders in and get another flanking charge off. So I got one here. He was able to pull this Marquis of Masochism out of that battle. He's getting close to my spawn here, but I am getting crushed on victory points right now, and that is no good. Luckily, I was able to get some troops around the side. My flanking charge was kind of delayed. I wasn't paying the best attention there, but Warbear Riders still chasing off some of these Hellstriders that charged in. Got some on top of some Forsaken. Not the best engagement right there. You know, getting charged by Hellstriders that have the anti-large is not great. The Warbears have good armor, but they are going to get, they're going to get damaged decently well by Hellstriders of Slaanesh, especially when they get charged while they're already engaged. Streltsy are getting some shots off, but you can see I'm still having a lot of trouble with backline disruption. They definitely have had the model count on me in this area, but luckily I'm able to kill off a decent amount of troops. 13 units on the field, and I've got value trading advantage here, although I still have no points, and he's already halfway to winning on victory points. Right now, my focus is getting this victory point up here, point 1. So I got Kostaltyn and Costers up there, and taking out this unit. I was really worried that this guy was going to be killing all my single entity units, and so that was a problem. And it had already done that. I already took out one of my Snow Leopards and chased off another one. And so I was like, all right, I need to get like multiple troops on this guy and dedicated to taking him out, not just have like 1 or 2 Snow Leopards at a time. Warbear Riders was the main thing I was trying to get on top of him, along with getting shots from Streltsy when that was possible. So I got point 1, chased some of his infantry off of there, just getting some shots off with the remaining ammunition. Those Armored Cossars. I've got some more Armored Cossars coming in because I realized that my front lines were mostly buckled. Luckily, you can see I got my Streltsy getting shots off. I did not want my Ice Maiden to get taken out by this unit, so you can see I'm kind of trying to juke a little bit, move out of their path, while chasing them away with the Warbear Riders. So I brought Death Frost and the Snowflake Pendant on this Frost Maiden, and my mindset was basically use her just as a one spell hero, bring her in and deal with single entities. I was mostly afraid. I didn't even know about that Keeper of Secrets unit, which luckily I was able to just finally finish off. But I was afraid of the lords that Slaanesh was going to bring. And I don't think my Ice Maiden even came in until after Azazel was off the field, but it's a good thing I brought her because she was able to get some Death Frosts off on the, I forget what this troop is called, Keeper of Secrets model. It's a Regiment's Renown version. I forget the name of it. Something of Masochism. So Kostaltyn's here up on the point, holding us down with the armored Kossars. Ideally, I get him off elsewhere, but still super far behind on victory points. I am in the process of kind of slowly capturing point 2, but more Hellstriders of Slaanesh coming in. Not fun for me to see when I just got Warbear Riders and Snow Leopards here. They are lightly armored. They do have bronze shields, so that's a thing, but I wanted to get some infantry on the field and get some shots off. You see I brought a squad of Zargar with great weapons over here. So what I was thinking was that my opponent's probably focusing so much on this cavalry engagement and on the middle point that we're contesting for that he might just leave this group of marauders here, and I can send some anti-infantry Zargar over this way and disrupt them and maybe take that point while he's not paying too much attention. So you can see a lot of chasing going on. This is kind of a theme of this match, is me running Snow Leopards and Warbear Riders around, trying to catch up with his cavalry, trying to catch up with his chariots, his lord, single entity monsters and stuff like that, and just getting them off of my infantry with ranged attacks so that I can get some shots off. Mostly the Streltsy. I kind of wish I had brought more squads of them and maybe some less squads of Kossars, but it's hard for me to tell with how this is playing out, because luckily the amount of infantry that I did have was able to tie down some of the troops, and I am ahead by a pretty good amount, about 3,000 in the value trading. Still got some good supplies, so still way behind in the victory points. I'm 900 victory points behind. He's about 300 away from winning on those. And so at this point in the match, I am just desperately trying to find my way to get him off of point 2 and then work my way towards point 3 as well. You can see the Zargar were able to fight off the what do you call it? Devoter Marauders. Actually, I think they might have just repositioned themselves and I ran on there. That might be this squad that came over to help on point 2. But nevertheless, I got point 2. He's now sending reinforcements over to fight for point 1. And there was just a huge blob fight over here. You know, units scattering, leadership getting crashed, chariots charging through, me trying to get my lord in. I finally brought Kostaltyn down from point 1 to assist here. And you just heard that, just captured point 3, point 2 as well. And so now I've got a triple capture for getting victory points. So he's stuck at 1,227. And I've got a little bit of an advantage with the model count. Hold on one second, my dog is trapped in the room. Wants to go say hi to his auntie. Alright, so a lot of troops out on the field, mostly just bunkering down on point 2. But now I see that he's got a bunch of his chariots up on the hill, 3 squads of them actually. Group of Hellstriders coming in, and there's no way my Warbear Riders are going to be able to hold that by themselves. I brought in some armored Kossars with great weapons. I wanted to run them in there and just get them on top of the point. Chasing off these Devoted Marauders with my infantry down here. He's got some on standby, some Hellstriders on standby in the backfield, but I'm not too worried about them taking point 3, because with the low models, it would take them a while to get the capture weight on here. And then just still dealing with these chariots roaming around. And so now I'm kind of looking around the map and just trying to keep an eye on the backfield, see where he's bringing in reinforcements, see what's going on the points, and making sure that if he brings in a big wave of troops that I have the means to get reinforcements over and protect all 3 of them. Because again, even if he just captures 1 point right now, I'm in a point where I have to hold a triple cap. You know, again, I still need about 900 points, and he only needs 273, looks like right now. So, chariot charge coming in the back of my infantry. That's not fun to see, especially when they're anti-infantry like these ones are. He's got Hellstriders coming in, but luckily I got Snow Leopard and Warbear Riders that are coming in to reinforce. My Ice Queen is kind of just her, what is it? Frost Maiden is the hero version, is running around trying to get in a position to help. I think she's trying to get a cast off of Death Frost on the chariots, because I saw they were a regiment of renown. I wasn't sure if they were going to be bringing in any more single entity units. And of course, as I say that, they come back in with the Marquis of Masochism, that large single entity monster. So I got Warbear Riders on the top. I figured I'd have them far away from the rest of my troops because the quickest way they're going to get here is with a cavalry unit or a large unit that's fast. And so me just having a big mass, heavy mass anti-large unit up there that's quick will be good. Got Kossars on the main point in the middle, and then the fight continues down here. So Kostaltyn is now getting chased down, and I'm like, oh shit, he's probably about to get killed by this guy. So I'm bringing in everything I've got. Got the Kossars coming in, Zargard coming in, Warbear Riders and Snow Leopards coming from either flank to try to capture this guy and stop him. I'm not sure. I haven't seen this ability. I guess it's a damage dealing and a leadership ability. So he's trying to crack the leadership on Kostaltyn and get him off the field. And I guess, is he broken here? Or I can't remember if I still have control of him here, but just a tough situation. Luckily, I'm catching up on victory points. He's got some Chaos Warriors coming in the middle. Again, these guys are armored, good shields. So even if I had ammunition left on my armored Kossars with great weapons, it wouldn't deal too much. So here I'm like, all right, he just brought in a really expensive unit. He just brought in some Chaos Warriors. I can't imagine he has too much more supplies to bring in extra reinforcements. So I abandoned point 1, which of course, as soon as I do that, he brings in a squad of Marauder Horsemen and starts charging up that direction. But I was able to get on top of the Keeper of Secrets unit with those Snow Leopards and the Warbear Riders and just keep bogging him down. There's just a huge blob fight here again. Same kind of thing going on. He's trying to get to the point. I'm trying to chase off his high value unit while protecting this at the same time. See, I got a good mix of units, some Warbear Riders and Armored Kossars over on point 3 now. Just hitting on top of that. Trying to keep Kostaltyn away from point 3 because in basically any area that he's going to be sending some kind of damage dealing unit in. And you can see he's trying to come after him right now, run around this way. But I just wanted to make sure that I kept the leadership integrity of my force by keeping the Lord alive. And again, just stay on top of this guy with the Snow Leopards and the Warbear Riders. Make him work for any damage he's trying to get off. And use my mobility and anti-large to my advantage. Marauder Horsemen are down here getting some flanking shots in. So I thought they were. It seems like maybe they just have a slow rate of fire. But ideally, and you see I just pull these guys off right here. Snow Leopard and Warbear Riders don't want to be locked in with Chaos Warriors or Slaanesh. They're not getting to use their anti-large bonus. They're not really using their mobility, just sitting there in a grinding fight like that. So I'm fine having one squad of armored Kossars with great weapons dealing with them. Again, these guys have armor-piercing melee, and so that's gonna do well against these guys. And then Zargard coming in to reinforce. Chaos Fury is gonna get in here, shut down some of my shooting on my Kossars. But luckily, because of the way that he ran with his Marauder Horsemen, he kind of brought my anti-large mobile units into this fight where the Furies were going to be as well. And so now we're competing for point 1. Got some more horsemen coming in. I figured they'd be able to get some shots off on their horsemen, on their Furies, lightly armored troops. Another group of Streltsy, actually 2 squads of Streltsy coming in. And I figured with the amount of Zargard and Kossars that I had on the field, my Warbear Riders and my Snow Leopards, I could bring in Streltsy and safely sit them in the back, which I wasn't really able to do at the beginning of the match, and start getting shots off. And you see that paying off here. Hellstriders come in. Normally they probably would have flanked here, but I basically forced them to make a decision. Do you charge into the infantry blob and get shot from the back, or do you charge into the Streltsy and then waste time trying to fight them while maybe you lose in the infantry fight? But here you can see I'm about to win on victory points. He just wasn't able to get back and recapture any of the objectives, and really the value trading was what paid off for me. I think the whole thing kind of cascaded from him sending his Lord in and just trying to assassinate Kostaltyn so early. He was definitely onto something with getting the cycle charges off with the chariots in my back lines and disrupting the shooting lines. But he probably could have used Azazel a little bit more cautiously, and I do feel like the value trading that you saw at the end, I think it was like 20,000 to 12,000 or something like that. That value trading is not entirely reflective of how the match went, as far as how close it was. I feel like there oftentimes ends up being a domino effect where maybe like a couple minutes away from the end, you're only a couple thousand points apart, maybe not even, and then it just cascades into something bigger because one person has more troops on the field, The other person's getting forced into bad engagements because they don't have as many units that they can choose counters for, and that's just how it goes. So take a look at the unit stats to wrap this up. So you can see Kostaltyn really didn't even do that much. But the Warbear Riders did a ton. The Streltsy did a ton. Armored Cossars all got pretty good value. A lot of those were resummons. Frost Maiden did alright. Warbear Riders again did pretty good. I think this was the last squad I summoned in, so that's why they didn't get as much value. Excuse me, the Zargard with great weapons didn't really even do too much. Snow Leopards did a ton. Again, the Snow Leopards only cost 650, so they basically all double their value. And the Horse Archers didn't really do too much. Azazel, alright stats. I mean, you can see he did a lot of damage to Kostaltyn. And I think he might have got some spells off that did some damage to my infantry during that blob fight. The Chaos Warriors did alright. The Chariots, not probably getting their worth. Forsaken, not so great. The Marauder Horsemen did better than I would have expected, although I guess these were probably resummons. Not too much on the Devoted Marauders. I wonder if Slaanesh needs to bring more armor piercing in a situation like this. I think that the infantry for Kislev have decent armor. Keeper Secrets, almost 2,000 value. I would assume this unit might cost more than that. Not sure because I don't know their roster. But again, really just from watching other channels, the main things that I was anticipating was Hellstriders being a large, fast, anti-large unit that I needed to deal with. That was part of the reason I had the Streltsy, Warbear Riders, and Snow Leopards, and single entity Lords was what I was looking at. Luckily, I think maybe the infantry that they brought could have been more catered towards Kislev if they had more armored guys and more armor-piercing armored troops, but anyways, good game to my opponent. It was a pretty close fight as far as the victory points went. It did not look good in the beginning, but luckily with the value trading, I was able to swing it back. And thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next replay.